I've said it before and I'll say it again. Summers in Japan are hot. Now, usually we have summer festivals. It's festival season here in Japan. People look forward to dressing up in yukatas and going out into the crowd, getting some drinks and eating some good street food from vendors and watching fireworks. But this year, because of everything going on, there are no festivals, aside from the Olympics, which we are having now. But you may have heard from the athletes themselves, it's become kind of an issue that the conditions are too hot here. And it just goes to show that Japan summers don't play around. So if you're like me and you absolutely hate these hot and humid summers, but you plan to visit during the season or maybe even live in Japan in the future, you're gonna have to figure out a way to deal with it. So after living here for several years, I'm going to share with you a few simple everyday things that I've learned and do each day that might help you out. I start my day off with a smoothie. It's nothing fancy and I'm not trying to make the ultimate balanced smoothie or anything like that. I just started doing this because when I go to the office every day, it's quick, it's seemingly healthy, and best of all, it's cold, so it would help me survive the commute to work. I use kale or spinach depending on which I feel like buying. I'll throw in some bananas. I usually like adding in some frozen mangoes, but they were out this time. I'll throw in some almonds. I like hemp milk, but I can't really find it anymore here, so I'll use almond or just regular milk even. And then I'll throw in some ice cubes. Then I'll blend up in my trusty old magic bullet that I've been using for years. Next is a big one, and that's clothes. Now, obviously, there are clearly easy to understand reasons on why that's important, but more than that, it's important because a lot of us in the West, we just like to wear less clothes when it's hot. The problem is that a lot of times it's considered too revealing or maybe even inappropriate. If you look around, you'll see people are pretty moderately or conservatively dressed. They like to cover their shoulders and maybe even wear long pants. And so if you want to be mindful of where you're traveling to, which we all should, you might want to take this into consideration. Let's start with the base layer. This is Airism from Uniqlo, which is a thin, lightweight, fine mesh shirt. I used to try to wear less clothes in the summer so I wouldn't wear anything underneath, but this helps keep your shirt from getting sweaty and sticking to your body. Because it does that, air passes through and helps keep you cooler. There are a few different options. I like these seamless ones. They have these in the US, so if you can get to a store or order online, definitely check those out. Next is summer pants. Now, I'm kind of a jeans guy, but in the summer, they get put away because it is just way too hot for that. Instead, I go for lightweight or breathable bottoms that are made specifically for this weather. These are my favorite shorts. They're by a Japanese brand called Minotaur, and they are ridiculously lightweight. It's like you're not wearing anything. Even compared to regular shorts, it's a huge difference. Now, they're a bit pricey. Luckily, I got them on sale because I think they were like $250 or so regular price, but once I tried them on, man, I had to have them. But Uniqlo and a ton of other brands make some pretty good options as well. But back to the being appropriate thing, you can't always wear shorts outside, right? In one of my last videos, I did buy a pair of pants and they've become one of my favorites now. They're made by a Japanese brand called Attachment, super lightweight and breathable. It almost feels like you're wearing shorts, in fact. A couple other favorites of mine are these from Macintosh Philosophy, which is a Japanese boutique brand by Macintosh. And they're lightweight, stretchy fabric, super comfy. I also have these from Uniqlo, which are a little more sleek and were a great deal. Okay, enough about clothes, right? If you go to the drugstore or a store like Loft or Tokyo Hands, you're gonna see a bunch of shelves that are filled with items that are meant to help you get through this heat. And one of those items are menthol sprays. You can spray them on the insides of your clothes and they give you a cool sensation, at least for a little while. You can also directly spray them on your skin. There's also gels and wipes that have the same effect. And you can just throw these in your bag and they're pretty convenient, just carry them with you. There are also powdered lotions that'll help spread a fine powder on your skin to keep it from becoming sticky. Seabreeze might be the most popular brand, but I like this 8x4 or 8x4, I'm not sure how you call it, because the powder to liquid ratio seems to be better. If you're here during the season, you are bound to get hot and sticky, so this kind of thing will help at least a little bit. They also sell these towels that will stay cool for a very long time once they're wet. I haven't really used them recently in Tokyo, but I would use them all the time when I was biking to work every day while living in Fukuoka Prefecture. That was absolutely brutal. Some stores also sell these mini fans. Luckily, recently ventilation in trains has improved a little bit due to the virus measures, but before that, things would get pretty rough, especially when the train would just stop all of a sudden in between stations. Of course, another common sense thing to do is to switch from hot coffee to cold coffee. So I'll go back and forth between ice pour over style of coffee and cold brew. And I will pour it into this vacuum cup, which I received from a colleague as a present several years ago. Still using it and still keeping me refreshed. And finally, desserts. Now, Japanese foods are very seasonal, so desserts are no different. Japan makes some really good shaved ice. Now, because I'm from Hawaii, I'm a little bit biased, but Japan's is really good. It's kind of a more luxurious version of shaved ice. It often uses real fruits, and you sit down in a cafe and eat it slowly. It's kind of more refined in a sense. But then there's popsicles. I feel like it's kind of an Asian thing, as a lot of Asian countries seem to have them around more. Maybe because it gets really hot here and you can just grab and go from a convenience store easily. They often incorporate delicious seasonal fruits as well, and you really can't go wrong with one of these guys. I got all of this information here in a blog post, link down below, so pass it on if you know someone who might find this information helpful or useful. But it is hot. I am pretty over sitting out here to do this video. Thanks for sitting with me and watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and if you are interested in my life here living in Tokyo, don't forget to hit the like button on this video. It'll help me out a lot. Let me know if you've actually experienced the summers here, and tell me what you've done to kind of help you get through the days. Leave them in the comments below. But thanks again for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. I'm about to head in for some AC right now.